You may be seated. Welcome to Flores United Methodist Church. I know for some of you in-house, I might seem like a floating head. I'm Pastor Daniel, and I'm very proud and privileged to be able to welcome all of you into this space. We are a community that likes to show up for one another, to lean into the ways of creating space where people can find belonging, and to pour out our love in all the ways that the community might need. As we're gathered here, I want to start by thanking some people who are deserving of many thanks. I want to thank all the congregations who have participated throughout this year in all the fellowship and conversations that we've had, getting to know one another and listen to one another, and really to collaborate together in being a country that we want to be, that's reflected in the diversity of who we are. Those congregations are listed in the back, and if you are not a part of one of those faith communities and you want your community to be a part of it, if you look out for any of the folk up here on the platform, we'd be glad to connect you. We'd also like to thank Emily Hummel, Raquel Sanchez Herrera. We'd also like to thank the Kingdom Security Team who is here. We also appreciate and thank all the elected officials who are present and who have come to celebrate with us. And finally, I want to thank each and every one of you who are seated here. When you could have spent time traveling or doing other things, you came here to celebrate together so that we could celebrate in a way that demonstrates a sense of coming together as one from all of our diverse backgrounds. We have opportunities to continue this, not just end here in this moment, but to do it throughout not only this year, but beyond, in creating those connections and being a better country for one another. And so we hope that you'll look through the bulletin. There's a save the date for October in the back. We hope that you would be able to participate in all the things that we will be doing together. We also ask that you would hold your applause. We're going to be at moments inspired and wanting to clap and applause, but we're going to ask you to hold that so that we could continue to go through these moments together in a way that flows well. Finally, I mentioned that we together here are from all different places, different faiths, different traditions, different cultures. And as we gather here, there's a candle that might be hidden, but I'm going to light it like a unity candle, that from all of our diverse backgrounds, as we gather here, and of course, it decided not to light anymore. Ooh. I will find a way to light this at a later moment. We will use this little tea light as a reminder that no matter what goes wrong, that the light won't be snuffed out. Amen? All right, let us continue.
Yet always at work within. We come together at this particular moment with the words of our ancestors fresh in our ears.
O beautiful for spacious skies.
Give me your tired, your poor.
The inheritance of justice is shared by some, not yet by all.
We hold these truths to be self-evident.
God shed his grace on thee.
That all are created equal.
The blessings in which some this day rejoice are not enjoyed in common.
That we are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights.
Yes, you, our Creator, are present. And may what we do here today inspire and encourage all who gather, that we would fulfill the promise of those who came before, that a new birth of freedom would be for us and all who come after us. May it be so. Amen.
Amen.
Hello, everybody. We're going to have a congregational song that probably a lot of you don't know, but it's by Melanie DeMore, and it's called One Foot Lead with Love. And I know that you just sat down, but when we talk about putting one foot in front of the other and leading with love, it's really hard to sing that seated. So can I ask you to rise? And you're going to repeat after me. I'm going to teach you the chorus, and then we're going to start the song. And the wonderful choir that we have is going to help you and guide you along the way. So Jeremy, can I have a B? Okay, so here's the chorus. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Now you sing. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Sing it again. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with good. Great, you just learned the chorus. That's great. So we're going to sing that every time after the verse. And this is, again, a hard song to sing standing still. So if you want to put your feet like this, if you want to snap, if you want to clap, feel free to move however your body wants to for this song. So we're going to start with that chorus again. We're going to let Jeremy lead us in. Here we go. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Don't give up hope. Don't give up hope. You're not alone. You're not alone. Don't you give up. Don't you give up. Keep moving on.
The project of America crystallized 250 years ago at the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Its soaring words lift our souls to this day. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. However, we recognize that even at the moment of its conception, America's greatest flaws were written into the text, as the founders referred to Native Americans with language that defies their stated belief in universal human dignity.
Today, we see what they did not. We reject the indignity of their language, even as we celebrate the blessings of their vision, and we seek healing for the blindness of their times. As we observe this historic moment, we take stock of our past, present, and future. In so doing, we seek words to express a patriotism for our times, a mature love of this country that carries with it the complex demands of honesty, accountability, and determination to live out the true meaning of this nation's founding creed.
To begin, we acknowledge that the lands on which each of our 10 houses of worship stand, in Herndon, Reston, Vienna, and Oakton, and the land where we are today, are the traditional and ancestral lands of the Manahoac and Doeg tribes. Each of these indigenous peoples and the infinite wisdom of their cultures no longer exist. We acknowledge their displacement, dispossession, and erasure. We honor them as the original inhabitants of this region of the Potomac watershed and maintain that indigenous history and perspectives have been and must be central to our nation's future.
Here in Virginia, in 1776, George Mason wrote this proclamation: that all men are by nature equally free and independent and have certain inherent rights, of which they enter into a state of society that they cannot by any compact derive or divest their prosperity, namely enjoyment of life and liberty, with means of acquiring and possessing property and pursuing and obtaining happiness and safety. Weeks later, these words became the foundation for the 13 colonies' Declaration of Independence.
Following more than 8 years of war, the American colonies would win their independence and begin the arduous task of building a new nation. The start was promising. A constitution was written detailing foundational elements of the new government, the branches of government, the separation of powers, and free and fair elections. The Bill of Rights buttressed this foundation, guaranteeing basic rights to the nation's citizens, including freedom of speech, freedom of religion, the right to assemble, the right to a fair trial, and the separation of church and state.
Despite their universal assertions, these documents also codified prejudices and restricted rights to landowning men of European descent. Enslaved Americans, women, immigrants, and indigenous peoples were not granted complete rights of citizenship.
Much of American history has been about gallant efforts to right these wrongs. Today, we will honor stories of Northern Virginia, whether unknown or oft repeated. They are our story. They have the power to encourage us and to give us hope that, as the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice.
The most violent and catastrophic step toward national progress was the Civil War, which killed almost 700,000 Americans. A few dozen yards from this very room is Mosby's Rock, a meeting place for the Virginia militia led by John Mosby, a man who fought for the South's desire to perpetuate and spread slavery. But when the war ended, Mosby became a confidant of President Grant and worked to heal the divides between North and South, a task that led to death threats and an eventual posting overseas.
Following the end of the Civil War, a small group of African Americans living in Vienna, Virginia, desired to build a structure for religious services, education, and civic gatherings. However, they owned no land and lacked funds. Understanding their desire, a white farmer in Vienna and retired major in the Union Army, Orrin E. Hine, presented a deed to a small portion of his land to his first trustees, George Mack Brown, Daniel West, and Edmund Harris, for a sum of $1. As an employee of the Freedmen's Bureau, he also helped them acquire lumber through the Freedmen's Bureau from a soon-to-be-demolished Civil War barracks. Thus, First Baptist Church of Vienna became the first church in the town.
Decades later, on November 10th in 1917, 33 women from around the country, including Lucy Burns and Dorothy Day, were arrested for picketing outside the White House for their right to vote. They were incarcerated at the Occoquan Workhouse in Fairfax County, where they were beaten and tortured by male guards, an event which galvanized public and congressional support behind the suffrage movement. By 1920, the 19th Amendment had passed, giving America's women the right to vote.
In the early 1960s, a Jewish man from New York, Robert E. Simon, had a dream to create a planned community that would champion racial inclusion and equality. He purchased 6,750 acres of Northern Virginia farmland adjacent to Herndon and designed a town that would bring together people of every racial and socioeconomic group into one community. Amongst Reston's streams, lakes, parks, and forested paths, some members of this Faith 250 cluster, St. Anne's Episcopal Church, the Northern Virginia Hebrew Congregation, the Unitarian Universalist Church of Reston, and Oakbrook Church, built their homes.
In 2008, the All Dulles Area Muslim Society had outgrown its capacity to host the local Muslim community for Friday Jumu'ah prayers. They approached the Northern Virginia Hebrew Congregation, who offered their social hall to the mosque as a place for them to pray. For 18 years, Muslims in Northern Virginia have gone to a synagogue to pray. And a few hours later, the same space is filled by Jewish worshipers as they come to open their Shabbat celebrations. We so often hear in the news media about the many religious conflicts taking place in the world. How beautiful is it that a mosque and a synagogue in this very cluster are showing our nation and the world that another way is possible.
Each of these stories reminds us of the ideals of our founding, that all are meant to be made welcome here, that all are meant to be equal, and that each of us has, in the words of the poet Emma Lazarus, lifted our eyes to look for liberty's lamp beside the golden door.
Please join me in a prayer of confession and release. You can find the prayer in your Faith 250 guide. I'll give you a moment. God of the cosmos, in this moment of remembering, we refuse easy triumph and come instead with truth on our lips. We confess. There are times we have sought comfort
at the expense of others' dignity and chosen safety
over solidarity. Still, you call us back. So we lay down the ways we have mirrored what harms this world and release our grip on control, on fear, and on scarcity. Remind us that we belong to you, to the land, and to one another. Hold us in your mercy. Teach us to walk in wholeness and liberation, to choose love that frees, justice that restores, and a peace rooted in truth, so that we might honor your image in this fragile, beloved world.
As we continue to share in story and song, we pause now for a practice of breath work, or breath prayer. And this may be new for some of us, but we invite you to simply participate in whatever way you feel comfortable. Just as singing together can bring our heartbeats closer into sync, breathing together connects us through a shared rhythm of the universal human experience of breath. Slow and intentional breathing, especially when we have a longer exhale, can activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the body's natural relaxation response, helping us to calm both body and mind. Writer and liturgist Cole Arthur Riley describes breath prayer as a way of grounding the body, reclaiming dignity, and creating space to hold complex emotions. As we reflect on the stories of our past, honor our present, and look with hope towards our future, may this shared practice help us become more present with ourselves, with one another, and what each of us holds to be sacred. In your handout, you'll find 5 simple phrases that you may repeat either silently or aloud as we breathe together, and I will guide us through each of them. Let's take a moment to center our breath and taking in a nice inhale to the count of 4. We're gonna hold that breath to radiate throughout our body, and then exhale to the count of 6. So inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more time. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As you inhale, we are many voices. As we exhale, we are but one breath. As you inhale, as we honor the past, exhale. We seek healing for the present. Inhale, sharing stories of hope. Exhale, shaping the future with love. Inhale, receiving strength in community. Exhale, offering peace to one another. And once more, inhale, many voices. Exhale, one breath.
As we gather to commemorate 250 years of the American journey, we come knowing that America's story cannot be told with one voice, from one perspective, or through one song alone. There are songs that entertain us. There are songs also that inspire us. And then there are songs that carry us through. Lift Every Voice and Sing is such a song. Within its words, we hear the passion of a people who refuse to surrender their humanity, their dignity, or their faith. A people who, even when their voices were ignored, still lifted them. Even when their dreams were deferred, still pursued them. Even when the nation failed to recognize their full humanity, still dared to believe in freedom. Within this song, we also feel the pain of a people who knew the contradiction of America firsthand, the contradiction of liberty proclaimed while freedom was denied, of equality promised while injustice was practiced, of a nation declaring that all were created equal while generations were forced to walk a stony road beneath the chastening rod through blood, tears, struggle, and sacrifice. This song does not ask us to forget that pain. It does not sanitize the past. It does not erase the wounds. It remembers, but perhaps most powerfully within this song, we also hear the promise of a people who would not allow the pain to have the final word. A people who kept marching, kept praying, kept organizing, kept believing, kept lifting every voice. That is why Lift Every Voice and Sing is more than an anthem. It is a testimony of survival, a prayer of perseverance, a declaration of hope. And on this 250th anniversary of America, in this sacred multi-faith gathering, perhaps this song offers us a word we desperately need, that patriotism is not pretending that our nation has been perfect. Patriotism is loving this nation enough to tell the truth about where it has failed, and believing enough in its promise to keep working toward what it still can become. And so today, my brothers and sisters, today, my friends from many cultures, many backgrounds, and who share many different stories that desire to stand together, we remember the pain of the road behind us. We honor the passion that kept generations moving forward, and we recommit ourselves to the promise of a nation where liberty and justice are not merely words we recite, but realities every person can experience. And now, with gratitude for those who came before us, with courage for the work that remains before us, and with hope for generations yet to come, I invite each of us to rise as you are able and to join us in singing a song born from struggle, sustained by faith, and lifted toward freedom. Every voice and sing.
Ring with the harmony Please be seated. Friends, we have just reflected on our past experience as a country, as citizens here in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and as residents right here in this part of Northern Virginia. Our shared history mirrors the story of our own individual lives, accomplishments, and achievements for which we can be and we are rightly proud, as well as our mistakes, moments when we have fallen short of our goals and our ideals. That is our past. Soon we will consider a little later the possibility of our shared and individual future. What has been, what will be. Our hopes, dreams, and aspirations as a people and as a nation. Now we consider the present.
The Jewish Hasidic tradition teaches that a Rabbi Simcha Bunim of Pesisha, he used to carry 2 slips of paper, one in each pocket, with a note written on each of them. The one in his right pocket read, "For my sake, the world was created." And in his left pocket, the note read, "I am but dust and ashes." The stark contrast highlights the universal human struggle to assert our inherent dignity while remaining humble and recognizing our place in the vast universe. So right here, right now, we want to together fully enter into the present of our time, this moment, who we are between those 2 slips of paper, the world that was created for us and our future, whatever comes of our hopes and dreams, will last beyond any of us.
Our communities of faith share the common practice of prayerful reflection, both individually and as communities. We will now share in a time of prayerful reflection. We're going to practice the idea of holding seemingly opposing truths at the same time. You probably will notice there is a red sticky note and a white sticky note on the front of your program. On your white sticky note, write one thing about our country that you are grateful for in this moment. On the red sticky note, write one thing you would like healed in our nation. We have provided some pencils and baskets on the edges of the rows. You can pass those around if you need a pencil. We also have extra sticky notes, red and white sticky notes in some baskets going around. But I want you to take that moment of silence holding both the prayer for healing and the prayer for gratitude at this time in the present. We'll give you that time now to do that.
After our service, there will be a large American flag in the fellowship hall you'll see as you enter. We're going to ask you to place your sticky notes on the stripes of that flag and fill it with our hopes and dreams for America. And there will be further instructions to help fill the blue field and the white stars on the flag, amongst many other activities in the fellowship hall, just past the lemonade and cookies. Now, I'm going to ask everyone to rise for 1 minute as Yoon Nam will ring a bell 13 times for the 13 colonies at precisely 2:50 p.m. on July 4th, 250 years after the signing of the Declaration of Independence, which is in a couple of seconds. I'm looking at the monitor. Thank you. You may be seated.
Greetings of peace. A common greeting in many indigenous traditions is often translated as, "I recognize your spirit." What a beautiful way to honor the sacred dignity within one another. The Native American flute is deeply connected to the natural world. For generations, it has been played in moments of healing, prayer, reflection, and gratitude. Its gentle melodies echo the whisper of the wind through the trees, the flow of water, and the songs of birds, a reminder that we are part of creation, not apart from it. May these simple notes invite us into stillness, deepen our gratitude for this living earth, and renew a commitment to the care of one another and for a common home. On a day when the scorching temperatures reaches 100 plus, we are reminded that the earth is not something separate from us. We came from its dust, and to it we shall return. Many indigenous traditions have long taught a profound reverence for the earth and the natural world. As an Indian Muslim American, I am reminded that the Sufi tradition of Islam likewise teaches that humanity is entrusted with the care of creation. We are not owners of the earth, but its caretakers, its trustees. The natural world is a sacred trust and a reflection of the divine. As we reflect on the present, we also recognize our shared responsibility. One of the defining challenges of our time is caring for a common home.
is the sound of one voice, one spirit, one voice, the sound of one who makes a choice. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of voices too. The sound of me singing with you, helping each other to make it through. This is the sound of voices too. This is the sound of voices too. This is the sound of voices three, singing together in harmony, surrendering to the mystery. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of all of us, singing together with will to trust. Leave the rest behind, it will turn to dust. This is the sound of all of us. This is the sound of all of us. This is the sound of one voice, one people, one voice, a song for every one of us. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice.
Last year, Rabbi Mocha Holtzman from Northern Virginia Hebrew Congregation shared a vision which grew into Faith 250, a program that now includes over 250 faith communities across our nation. Over the past several months, many of us have participated in Faith 250 conversations. We've examined texts that have contributed to our understanding of what it means to be an American. The Declaration of Independence reminded us that we are all created equal. Emma Lazarus encouraged us to be compassionate. America the Beautiful encouraged us to aspire to our highest values and ideals. And Frederick Douglass reminded us that our words must meet our actions.
As a country, we have tried to correct the injustices and include more people in life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Sometimes we have succeeded, sometimes we have failed. Here we are in the threshold between the present and the future. In these first 250 years, we have become one of the most multicultural, religiously diverse countries in the world. A salad, a quilt, whose flavors and colors, whose diversity challenges us to learn, to grow, to open our minds to what is new and different, and to be blessed and enriched by what we find. Faith 250 encourages us to meet new people, talk to them, get to know them. Even if we do not always agree, we can see their humanity, the beauty, the inherent worth and dignity of each person. The values of my Unitarian Universalist faith reinforce what Faith 250 is modeling. Unitarian Universalists respect that we are all sacred, no matter our culture, theology, or experience. We seek justice to create a space where all people thrive. We believe in the transformation, knowing change can make us more compassionate and accepting. And we do these things together, acknowledging that we are all interdependent. What affects one affects all. And as my Unitarian Universalist faith tells me, we hold love at the center of it all.
It is our love for God and our love for each other that drives us. It also inspires us to be courageous as we face those who want to hold others back, to prevent them from becoming all of who God created them to be. In the midst of great hardship, the Apostle Paul reflected, "The Lord stood by me and gave me strength." When times are tough, let's hold those words to heart. The courage that flowed through our ancestors' veins is in this room today. As people of faith, we walk through challenging times, knowing God will lead us with strength, hope, healing, and courage. Faith 250 does not end in this place. Help us imagine where we can go from here. Before we leave today, let's seek people out to grab a cup of coffee, go for a walk, make a connection, start sharing life, your life, their life, our life together as a nation. As people of faith, we're also people of hope. We know dramatic change is possible. God can, will, and does break through in our lives as well as the lives of everyone around us. Let us hold on to that hope, go where God leads us, and work towards a more perfect union. Thank you.
As we transition from thinking about the present to our hopes for America's future, we turn for wisdom and guidance to our varied traditions. We begin by giving thanks for the gift of religious freedom embedded at our nation's conception. As the founders formed a new state based on human dignity and freedom, they rooted their effort in a creator without mandating how we each must understand that creator. Their insistence that America never establish a state religion has led to a flourishing of faith, morality, community, and hope, unlike history to that point. A flourishing that continues developing to this day. Now we stand upon their shoulders as we peer beyond the horizon to the next 250 years together. While each of us has entered this sanctuary with different backgrounds, faiths, needs, and hopes, we can find ourselves united in a universal message of peace and community.
It all begins here, amongst families, neighbors, friends, acquaintances, and even strangers. Compassion, mercy, and religion are the support of the entire world. And there can be no freedom without these pillars. As we remain supported by them, may we recognize our neighbor and love them as ourselves. May we heed the sacred instructions to reprove your kinsman, but incur no guilt. and do not take vengeance or bear a grudge against your countrymen. May we continue to be compassionate as we ensure to not hurt others in ways that we ourselves would find hurtful, and to do unto others as they would do unto us. For blessed is he who preferreth his brother and sister before themselves. And the way to true belief is to wish for every person around you that which you would wish for yourself. With this in mind, we can say Pax, Shalom, Salam, Om Mani Padme Hum, Namaste, Sat Sri Akal, Allahu Abba, and greet each other with peace as we recognize God and His teachings as the most glorious.
The words are on page 3 of your handout, by the way. Celebrating our differences inspires our hearts and souls so that we may all reach a place where change is a real possibility. So we remember we are all begotten under one Creator and made into tribes and nations so that we may know each other. God has invited us all to come unto Him and partake of His goodness. He does not deny anything that come unto Him. Black and white, bond and free, male and female, and all are alike unto Him. Therefore, as we look to the future of our country, there must be communities of people who seek to do justice, to love kindness, and walk humbly with God, who call on the strength of soul force to heal, transform, and bless life. Therefore, let us beat our swords into plowshares and our spears into pruning hooks, for blessed are the peacemakers and the changemakers of the world.
Would you join us by reading responsively the Litany for Healing American Citizenship found on page 4. Sovereign guide of history, we gather as citizens of a republic continually striving to live according to its foundational creed, the self-evident truth that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights.
May we ensure and protect these rights for every soul in our land. We acknowledge that our union is not yet perfect, and that every generation must work for the promise of democracy. We lift our voices in the unyielding faith that we shall overcome. Out of the jangling discords of our nation, we will transform it into a beautiful symphony. May we work, pray, and stand up for freedom and equality.
We pray for a healthy national culture that rejects bitterness and division. When we feel contempt, remind us of our sacred duty to one another so that we may operate with malice towards none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right as God gives us to see the right. Patience wounds so that we achieve a just and lasting peace among us.
Grant us a deep understanding of the sacredness of human individuality, reminding us that true equality honors the inner life of every person, recognizing the individuality of each human soul, the solitude of self. Teach us to respect the unique dignity and conscience of every citizen.
Guard our speech against the temptation of political slander, fear-mongering, and baseless accusation. May we stand firm in defense of truth. May we refuse to ride to political victory on the 4 horsemen of calumny: fear, ignorance, bigotry, and smear. Keep our national discourse honest, decent, and free from hatred.
We remember the long history of those who were excluded from full citizenship, yet whose labor lives and hope built its foundation. Let us answer the call of those who cried out, "Oh, let America be America again, the land that never has yet been, and yet must be, the land where every man is free." We the people must redeem the land, the mines, the plants, and the rivers.
Give us the moral clarity to recognize that our national health cannot be measured solely by wealth or power, but by how we treat the vulnerable. Inspire us to build a society where we don't just care for ourselves, but we look out for the little ones. We refuse to let a single child suffer in silence. May our compassion be as wide as our borders and as deep as our oceans.
When we look to our borders, let us see a place of shelter, warmth, and hope for those fleeing oppression. Let our golden doors remain open, echoing the welcoming command, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. I lift my lamp beside the golden door."
Finally, inspire us to look toward the horizon of the future with courage. Let us face the morning with hope, knowing that history, despite its wrenching pain, cannot be unlived, but if faced with courage, need not be lived again. Give birth again to the dream. Lift up your hearts. Each new hour holds new chances for a new beginning. Amen.
If not now, tell me when. If not now, tell me when. We may never see this moment or place in time again. If not now, tell me when. I see sorrow and trouble. I see sorrow and trouble in this land. And although there will be struggle, we'll make the change we can. If not now, tell me when. If not now, tell me when. If not now, tell me when. We may never see this moment or place in time again. If not now, tell me when. I may never every soul that ever longed for something better, something brighter. It will take a change of heart for this to mend. It will take a change of heart for this to mend. But miracles do happen every shining now and then. If not now, tell me when. If not now, tell me when. If not now, tell me when. But miracles do happen every shining now and then. If not now, tell me when. If not now, tell me when.
Words adapted from Native American activist Ruth Muskrat, delivered to President Calvin Coolidge in 1923. The old life has gone. A new trail must be found. For the old is not good to travel farther. We are glad to have it so. Younger leaders must guide the people along new and untried paths. This might be a harder task before them than the fight for freedom for our old leaders made. Ours must be the problem of leading this vigorous people back to a rightful heritage of nobility and greatness. Ours must be the task of leading through this difficult stage of transition to a new era of independence, a freer expression of art, and an awakened spiritual vigor.
Ours is a vision as keen and as penetrating as any vision of old. We want to understand the civilization we have inherited and become transformed citizens of the United States who share in building of this great nation that we love. We want also to preserve the best in all of America's varied civilizations. We want each to bring its own particular gifts to the altar of the great spiritual and artistic unity which such a nation as America must have. No one can find our solution for us but ourselves.
I invite you all to please stand for the closing benediction and charge. Loving God, source of justice, ground of hope, we have gathered in the tension between lament and longing, between the wounds of our past and the possibilities of our future. As we leave this sacred space, send us forth with
willingness to cross divides, to see the sacred in the face of the other, and courage to fear nothing but the absence of love. With clarity that the work continues, not in some distant future, but in our neighborhoods, our relationships, our choices, our daily fidelity to one another. With recognition that this is our greatest responsibility, to tend the garden of our common life, to mend what has been torn, to weave together what has been scattered. And with gratitude for the multi-faith community assembled here. Just look around at yourselves. Our view is beautiful. A living sign of what e pluribus unum can become, and action rooted in that gratitude.
And make space in our hearts, our homes, our civic life, for the divine presence to move. Let there be room for you in our relationships, in our struggles, in the small and sacred work of knowing one another. Go now with hope, not just optimism, with commitment, not naivete, with a stubborn belief that healing is possible, that love can still do its work, and that we are not alone. Go and let the work continue. Amen. Shalom. Salam. Om Shanti. Namaste.
The words we join together will be on the screen, but the last verse you will not recognize because it was written so beautifully. But where are you? Over here by the Reverend Marianne McKibben-Dana. Please join us. This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As I was walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. I roamed and rambled, here I followed my footsteps to the sparkling sands of her diamond desert. And all around me a voice was sounding. This land was made for you and me. This land is our land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island. From the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. The work of freedom remains unfinished. This nation's story, not yet unblemished. Yet we keep working, striving together in this land that's made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me.
We want to thank you all so much for being here, for spending time with us, for helping us honor our past, claim our present, and hope for our future. You are the embodied hope for the future. At this time, our service is ending, but our fellowship begins. Let us go in peace and love and join us for refreshments in the fellowship hall.